And we're back.
Hello.
Things are going up and down. Still got audio.
Can you
Boom.
hear us out there in the world?
In internet land.
In the land of interwebs.
Everyone check out my cool mug. It's a Ceaseless Watcher mug.
Cool.
I am
like
here.
it.
Nice. How
I am
ceaseless.
returned.
Excellent. Okay. So when we left off, we had some issues happening.
Yes.
So Copernicus has been vomiting blood and has had his
It's not good.
his demon fever, as it is called, cured.
That's stealing that.
Oops, sorry.
You okay?
Don't die.
Yeah, sorry. I thought I was coughing on mute.
Oh no.
Sorry.
So
Full
yeah,
into my mic. Sorry.
That was the SFX for Pernie.
Yeah.
while all that was going on, the messenger has come from the Grand Dame to summon your presence for council.
Don't you know I'm on council? We will get.
Look at this jacket.
Don't you know I'm
I
on
look like
council?
I'm on council.
We'll take a minute to get less bloodied and otherwise disheveled.
Cleaned up.
Yeah, we'll clean up and grab our snacks and go.
Yeah.
Tromlin is gonna suggest that maybe he stay behind because of all this, which might be complicated to explain.
So I've been turned into a dragon. Can I get the day off?
Gotta go.
And
Yeah,
just
well-
for the audience, Tromlin has had to step away, so he's not gonna be on stream for a bit anyway.
Yep. So Cromlin is watching our stuff.
Yep. So the rest of you follow the messenger to go. I just heard Pico say his name again. I love it.
Ugno is going to take that silver scale or the white scale that she has from the Great Frostworm
Yep.
and just like put it on a leather thong around her neck because you know.
You could put it on that silver necklace that fell out of the bag of holding if you wanted to. It's got like a little. It doesn't have a pendant, but it's got a space for one.
Sure, that seems too fancy for me, but let's do it.
You just
I'll,
take
I'll
a
put
knife
an
and make a
extender
hole
on
in
there.
the scale,
Yeah.
and then put it on.
Pop it on.
Yeah, you need an extender. It's a long.
Yeah,
It's a big
Morgan will
neck.
help you.
Got a big neck.
Morgan's got to.
Okay.
Morgan will use one of those cute waist chains, and we'll adjust it to be your necklace extender for that.
It's about right. So by the time you get to the council, the butterfly flower parade has finally faded. Also, Copernicus is starting to look more like himself. In other words, still pretty undead, but not as undead as he was
Less undead.
briefly.
I will prestidigitation and minor illusion, giving one of the butterflies a kiss and watching them fly away.
Aw.
Be cute. I figure this basically just looks like one of your streaming filters.
Yeah. Ugna has been entranced the entire time.
Absolutely.
Snapchatomancy.
Yeah, you're once again you're back at the big pavilion tent at the center of the camp, and you go in and the various food is being taken. It's that time of day, so they have just completed their breakfast feasting. But it looks a little frantic. It looks like people were working through breakfast. Because a lot of the elders are standing around, not sitting in their ceremonial spots, but they've been talking and doing things while grabbing food from the servants. You can see a number of servant types and other people packing up materials around the pavilion, including the sheriff is there, uh, like packing up bags of stuff and collecting things. Um, and it starts to look to you, Morgan, you in particular, because you're from here, that like there's an intent to break camp and move the encampment, which is not something that's done very lightly. The Grand Dame stands up as soon as you all come in and says, "Good, you are here. There's not much time uh, for our councils. What happened? How did it go?"
Guess the dragon was in a human form that was being held unconscious within the ribcage of a undead. What was it called again, Pernie?
Devourer.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But we
so
beat it. We
yeah.
smashed the heck out of it.
Yeah, its bones were crushed.
What of Graculus?
No sign. But I think that we disrupted some kind of ritual that he had been planning for many months.
Mhm.
That involved the frostworm.
Yeah,
The-
she went
the
out
worm is-
flying afterwards too, to that way, towards them other guys. So she's not in her lair right now anymore.
They have already fled. The worm is infuriated. She's laying waste to the lands about.
Hmm.
The black ice have fled into the hills, and we must do the same. She will come here next as soon once there is nothing else living of any note closer to her lair. She will
Oh.
continue.
Well, sorry to bring trouble to you, but hopefully you guys can get away.
I'm wondering if we should.
I think we should all
Carry on. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I just need to. So quick.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we should try to draw her away.
I mean, can we
set up
outrun an angry
diversions.
dragon? It seems like it might be
I
bad.
was thinking rather setting traps that are diversions, or drawing a little trail to people we don't like. Yeah, I think that could be an option as well.
I mean, maybe she got Crackless's scent or something? Maybe she could go that way.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because he was supposed to be, like, really far up north, I think.
Yeah.
Like, right out at Airvik.
That's my guess for where he is right now.
That's too far for us to go there ourselves, but, like, she's really fast and big and scary.
We could help pack up camp and perhaps leave like a giant, like when you spell help on a rooftop for a helicopter, a giant like Graculus is in Aravik.
Yeah, go there.
We could spell that out, leave her a message for where to
Mhm.
go next, and hopefully
Yeah.
she diverts.
Mhm.
How do we feel?
You
about
Nina,
guys-
do you want to pull up a map? Oh, you already did.
done.
Never mind.
I'd be like, so you guys are pretty good at avoiding her, though, right? Because, like, she hunts around here. Normally, right? Asking the barbarians.
Her offspring, for the most part, she hasn't shown herself outside of the lair in years, decades.
Hmm.
But she will ravage the wastes. She's very angry.
Yeah.
Well, we were
Wrathful,
thinking.
I think, is more the word. Very justified anger.
I'm assuming
She
you
should-
basically tell her the details of, like, when she's like, "What did you do? Why did you enrage the dragon?" You're like, "No. Dragon captured ritual. we
Yeah.
broke her out. She's
Yeah.
mad she
Oh,
was
yeah.
captured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we had to do it to stop Gracchus's ritual.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty
We're-
straightforward.
We were thinking
Yeah.
we could leave a giant arrow pointed towards Aravik in like bed sheets, and then just the word Gracchus, so that when she comes to where the camp used to be, she can find her way to her next stop rather than giving pursuit. Give her.
Mm.
I think we're not going to stop her anger, but perhaps we can channel it in the appropriate direction.
Well, she won't come here just
Oh
to,
wait,
like, this is not a location she knows. When we
Yeah.
leave, she will have no reason to come here.
oh, maybe we can leave a couple tents just for the attention of it. Can we do an art attack? Can we do a big thing where we make a big portrait of
Yes!
Gracchus made out of like bed sheets and canvas tent and
Just
feathers
Just
inside?
Except it's
blood
except
on
it's
the
a scene
snow.
from
Yep.
except it's a scene from the A-Team where you're all like doing the build,
Yeah.
and then
Instead
the
of
big
a
reveal at
crane,
the end is that it's just a giant.
I'm definitely Mr. T.
instead of a crane, it's just Pernie floating pretty high up in the air, being like,
Yeah.
could you move that more to the left? My left, my left.
Yep. Love when a plan comes together.
Mhm.
Excellent.
Yeah, I would actually. I think Pernie is really intent on this idea, doing a big art attack of Gracchus and spelling his name out, and then a big arrow pointed towards Aravik.
Mhm.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm
Spelled
down.
out in Draconic.
Yeah.
Well, while you're doing that, they are breaking camp in a hurry.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting to you. I mean, Morgan has seen something similar before, but because of course seasonally the camp always moves. But it's pretty impressive how rapidly they can take what is effectively a small town and move it and put it on everyone's backs, basically, and begin.
Traveler going.
Yep, marching off into the hills.
Yeah. Might be better to go
It-
closer to Ravenfall. So you at least have people nearby that you can.
Are you saying this to the Grand Dame?
Yeah.
She says we will likely go south to the headwaters of the Raven Flood, but I do not think it is wise to go too close to that city until whatever mischief has been done there is undone. We cannot go west. The dangers from the wildwood have grown too great. I would say that to the east is dangerous as well with the barbarians of the Black Ice, but I think that they too will be fleeing the dragon's wrath. So likely, when we go south, we will then make some easting.
Butterflies.
Perfect.
Yay!
It's funny they're
Wild
not.
magic.
They weren't showing up for me for a little bit.
Oh,
But they're
they
there
look
now.
great.
Wild magic.
Um.
What will you do?
Guys, we should probably go back to Ravenfall, because, like, Tree's been on his own for a couple days, and I'm really worried about him. And, with the other thing,
Yeah.
with the lady.
Yeah.
But mostly
Yeah,
Trey.
that sounds like.
Yeah.
You told the Grand Dame specifically what was going on there, right?
Yeah, I think we
yeah,
got-
I remember
yeah.
you did
I
the
think that-
misinformation.
Yeah.
But
When
then
there
when
was
you
a
were
spy,
alone
yeah.
in with the council, you
When-
told them the specifics.
When the word trade was said, Morgan did her slut cant at Pernie. Because she, I think, still doesn't know whether or not he knows it or is just smart enough to figure it out.
Can I make a raw intelligence check to try and decipher what is being said?
Yeah,
You
we
can
need to
indeed.
go there and we need to go back to the city and do some trading.
That's a
Some
13.
bartering.
Bartering?
Barter.
Bartering.
You think she's coming on to you? She's like, we should go back to town.
Good
You know what I mean? You think she's
Butter?
suggesting
Where
that
are you going
maybe?
to put the butter?
I mean, we did just have a moment where I like helped you with your sickness with a like strong hand on your shoulder, and then like butterflies and flower petals burst out. So it's not, you know.
Pernie's
You
down with the sickness.
remember? You remember Lady Pudenza
That's
and
true.
your leather daddy outfit?
Oh, Pudenza, she's so great. She's the
Well,
best.
I think perhaps we could share the road south a while. And I think strength in numbers might be helpful in the event that the frost room does find us. But hopefully, she's just very impressed by our art attack. Because what do we roll for art attack? Is that performance?
I mean, I'm not sure that performance is the right one. Like it's gonna be a dex based, right? Like you're trying to make art.
Acrobatics.
I think it's more likely a proficiency, like a tool use,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that sounds
like
cool.
artists' tools, which I don't know that would be a proficiency any of you would have.
I have tailor's tools. I don't know how much that carries
We are using
over.
fabric. We're using fabric.
I can embroider
Trying
the
to shape
countryside.
fabric.
Yeah, Ugna could.
Ugna with a great sword,
Yes.
great sword sewing machine,
Yeah.
sewing needle. Yeah.
Can make a embroidered bit of spare canvas.
I
It
will
says
give the help action.
Gracklus.
I was gonna say, like-
Graklus. Gracklus.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, for a large scale art project, having like a DC that is like okay or legible, okay, good, very good,
Yeah.
and then like multiple people make checks, so there can be like someone doing a
Like,
deck, someone
help.
doing a persuasion, or
I'm gonna
like
need aid from Pernie because I don't speak Draconic.
performance,
Oh,
I
shit.
guess, more than persuasion.
That'll be feted. So I'm gonna helicopter
yeah.
feted. I'm gonna helicopter feted so that he can give advice on the spelling.
Oh,
Amazing. Amazing.
Fetid could be using sleight
do
of
it.
hand or something like that.
Yeah.
Sleight
Get the
of
Well,
hand makes
bugs
sense,
to
too.
So-
spell it out.
And I'm the only one who's seen Gracculus, so I have to help with the visual, and I can like sketch it out on paper first, so you have something to work with.
It's just like a stick figure of a bird man.
This guy, he sucks.
Eat
Oh,
this
yeah.
guy.
Morgan's gonna
checks do
do
you
like
want?
some not.
Yeah. So the biggest thing here is time limitation, right? You can't.
Yeah.
You're doing this like in a couple hours because I assume you're trying to be ready to go
Yeah,
when they are.
While they're breaking
Um,
camp, we're art attacking the
yeah.
hills.
You're
Yeah.
while you're breaking camp, you're making a big canvas mural of Gracculus.
Yeah.
And you're using Copernicus's knowledge of what he looks like, and Ugna's tailoring skills.
So just embroidering.
I'm gonna be using minor illusion and mage hand to help with this, so that we can be like, so we need something this big here, and like maybe like, and then she'll like have like a measure. These are like mage hand to like help measure like. Is the eye
The other end of the
Gracculus gotta be
measurement
this big?
Yeah, I feel like
yeah.
mending is going to be more useful to you than minor
Yeah.
illusion isn't going to really help because nothing permanent comes of it. But you can certainly help to like join cloth together and so
Oh
forth.
yeah.
The end result here is still going to be like what people could accomplish in an hour or two, not
Yeah.
particularly.
We're making
you know.
basically like a scarecrow of Gracculus.
Like
Yeah.
And then an arrow in the
Yeah.
snow going like that way. Go eat this dude.
I would like to spend something on this. Do I
I'm
have
also-
a hero point? Probably not.
I
Do I
rolled
have
You
a
do, but-
pretty
Oh,
good.
we all got hero points back.
Everyone got a hero
Sure.
point back, but I
I
don't know
rolled
if you
pretty damn
particularly
good on
want to waste a hero point.
my
on that.
craft roll. I rolled
What'd you
a
roll?
16. It's not
On the die,
terrible.
or is that with your bonus?
On the die. My bonus proficiency would be another 3. So it's 19.
No, so you're proficient. I said
guidance
it was
to
dex
for
based,
somebody.
Oh, right.
so it would
It's
be
another 2.
It would be 5 total. Yeah, plus
Yeah.
5.
Plus 5.
21.
So also that you
21.
do get the 8 actions. So
Nice.
was that already rolled with
Nope. Well, let's
advantage or
roll
no?
advantage.
Can Morgan give guidance?
Ooh, nat 20, y'all.
Yeah.
Nat 20.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
and yes,
I have been
yes,
living for
guidance.
this moment the
Oh,
entire
yes.
time. I'm gonna put some guidance on there.
Heart attack,
Roll a D4.
baby.
Hell yes. That's a 2 on a
Yes.
D4.
So 27 total.
27 to do some art.
That's pretty good.
Just so you know,
So-
I will be sculpting this in mixed reality.
Absolutely.
There will be a video of our characters putting an art attack together.
Yes.
Are we talking?
I like it.
So I got the impression this was 2D, and then you were talking about scarecrows.
Yeah, no,
so
let's
are
do
you
2D.
talking?
Let's do
2D,
stretch the
2D.
canvas. And then I've got like ashes and water to use as like ink and my sword, and I'm basically like stabbing like
Well,
stick and
you have
poke.
fabric. Like
Yeah,
you're
I'm like
just
stick and
grabbing a bunch of
poking
fabric.
the canvas.
Yeah, it's land art.
Like you're-
It's land art.
Yeah.
You can cut and like tailor together because you're using tailoring. Remember,
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
stick and poke doesn't sound too
Tailoring.
much like a tailoring technique.
Yeah.
But you can cut and sew pieces of black fabric. Like the nice thing about the fact that it's a raven, he's a raven folk, is that it's you don't need a lot of different colors to
No.
build this. The disadvantage is that it's going to pretty much look like just a raven folk, with some hints of grizzledness,
Yeah.
and like the obvious like a
So
cloak.
it's like
But look how Ugna's layering the dark and
Yeah.
the light cloth with that real
It's like that
chiaroscuro
feather.
shading.
it's got like because I'm tailoring it, it's basically like an old tent that's like too beat up to be moved along. And then I'm taking black bits of cloth and I'm embroidering it on into the shape of a raven folk, and then we've splashed some like paint or blood on in the symbols that Fetid is telling us to write for
Yeah.
Draculus in Draconic.
Yep,
I'm so proud of
and
this.
Morgan-
and a big arrow.
Yep.
Morgan's
I'm
gonna
very amused that I'm running a game for a bunch of artists, so we're going to spend a lot of time on this.
Absolutely. The techniques. We gotta get into the techniques that we're using.
Morgan's gonna like set up like a little like a chest that is like one of those like libraries, but it's all just scrolls, shit talking Graculus, and like talking about like how awful the things that we want to be public knowledge in there. And there's just if you could read Vicious Mockery, that's what it feels like. All these shit
Amazing.
talk,
Nice.
but it's in Sylvan, Elven, and Common. So there will be like drafts of the same thing in multiple languages.
Nice. It's a little library.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a
Beautiful.
community library for people who fucking hate Graculus.
Yes.
So,
Why don't we have those for Elon Musk?
It's a burn book.
are you?
Yeah, it's a burn book and a chest.
Are you then like? Are you trying to get this done and leave with the tribe?
I'd be willing to leave a little bit late, but yeah,
If
I
we
think
need to,
that's
yeah.
Okay. Because
I
they'll
will-
be ready to go before you are.
Yeah.
But
They should go. We'll
They
Can
should
I-
go. Don't wait on us. We're doing art.
yeah.
If there are
Doing
people,
important
if there are
work here.
bodies not needed for that, I will encourage some cousins to hang out, and I will do like some thaumaturgy and prestidigitation for like the final reveal moment for everybody
Ooh.
who wants to. Everybody who wants to and can stay.
they're pretty like they're not gonna get left behind because like they don't have a destination. They're moving to wherever seems safe. So that if
Right.
they stay behind, that there's a decent chance of getting like separated.
Yeah. I was just gonna
So
say, oh
they're
shit,
not
Lane.
they're not staying.
I rolled a d20. We got to do that weird thing, but we don't. I'm done. I'm finally
Nope.
done.
You
Oof.
rolled the nat 20 and
It was
it's just a
actually
nat 20 now. The curse is
Oh.
lifted
Oof.
after
Good
like
timing.
6 sessions.
Oh, that would have sucked.
That would have
Yeah.
sucked.
We get to the
I just
reveal.
burn it.
No, basically, Ugna has made a big portrait of her own face.
Let me see
Those
what
are
would have happened.
self-portraits.
odd. The way I was rolling it, it's a d6 roll, and it's odd is odd.
Mm,
So if I roll an even number, it stands
It's
as
fine.
whichever nat 20 or nat 1. And if I rolled odd number, which I did, it would have become a nat 1.
oh no.
But then whether it's a nat 20 or a nat 1,
Thank you,
the
Trumlin.
results was like obviously fey magic.
Right.
That was
Yeah.
the thing I had to keep
Yeah.
working with. So
It was
that's
like
why, like,
Looney Tunes
even
bullshit.
when you rolled a nat 20 and it stood as a nat 20, something crazy happened, like an anvil appeared out of the thin air and landed on the enemy's head or something. So yeah, it's
You know,
it's pretty crazy.
an anvil landing on someone sucks, but like getting a free anvil,
Yeah.
like that's
Free
Yeah,
anvil.
but then you got to move it. Free anvil in the middle of the wilderness is not a free anvil.
well, depending on what kind and what size of anvil, you might be able to fit.
I
it
mean, if it's a
easily.
little jeweler's anvil, sure, but
That wouldn't hurt as much falling on your head. Or be as
yeah,
funny.
that would
It would hurt.
Um,
It would hurt. I can.
So
It would hurt a
Bad
lot.
experience. I've dropped one
so
on.
the Grand Dame
not
comes
on my
over.
head.
So the Grand Dame is going to come over before they leave, and look you up and down, Morgan, and say, I am glad that you are finding ways to use this power for good.
Well, there are many definitions of good, and there are many people who sit stagnant in what they know when there could be better. You know, change is not always bad. Change is about how you wield it.
You do not remember when you were young. You did not have control of the change.
Change.
Now maybe that is different.
I can understand. I deeply understand the risks associated with this, but it's also something that wasn't something I chose.
No.
And I don't think that's ever been considered fully by people and the way that they treated me.
No, you were
She'll
right,
take
my daughter.
a good sip of her drink.
You were right, my daughter. There always will be fear of change. I am glad that you have found a way to use this. Go with your friend's daughter. Find a way to stop all of this. I fear we have not stopped
No, I think there's a
what
lot
is
more
happening.
to
The
do.
the druids continue to see the darkness that is growing all around us. And maybe this freeing of the dragon will stop it, but I do not believe it will be enough.
Um, in being around, I did think there might be some animosity. I definitely didn't think that I was gonna have someone attempt to murder, or at least conspire to murder, me. But there's definitely been an unwelcoming air, and I just wanted clarity on that. If there's animosity towards me, what is it so that it might be mended, or at least addressed?
I'm just not sure if you're asking her whether
Oh, yeah.
she has animosity towards you.
Oh, her and or camp, because I got warned about my ex.
Because
And I just
if
wanna know
she
what
had
that
animosity
is.
towards you, you wouldn't be here. Like
Yeah.
this wouldn't be happening. Right?
No, it's more about like the camp
Yeah.
and people in the camp
She
and her ex
shrugs.
mostly. She just wants to gossip about her ex a little
She
bit.
shrugs and says, "As you say, daughter, there are those who fear change. You are nothing but change."
Um,
Doesn't sound like she knows anything about
yeah.
your ex.
Ernie starts
Uh,
building another chest so you can make a burn book for him. Just while you're talking.
Well, it's just like I don't see why he would have beef with me. Honestly, he was the one that spoke to you and tried to make arrangements without really talking to me, and that's why that ended. Um, Obviously, I was a bit upset, so I didn't talk about it a lot. And there were other things.
Sorry, I got confused there. I thought you were talking to Copernicus.
Oh no!
You're broaching
Yeah.
the matter of your ex with your mother,
Oh yeah.
who is like
Since
at
he now
least like a
has
little bit of an eyebrow raise because she's like, "What? Why we're done with that guy?"
well, he's the one that's working in positions of power, and he also seemed to have it out for me. I don't know if that was just shit talk or what.
What do you mean?
Well, we had people infiltrating our camp and trying to recruit people from within. I don't know if he was involved in that or yeah.
You mean the changeling?
Or just,
The changeling that you found? What?
no, just in general, like what the fuck has he been up to?
I know not.
All right.
I do not have control over the other great families, but I will keep my eyes open. Farewell for
Okay.
now, daughter. We need to march before the dragon comes.
All right.
I have many people to find safe keeping for.
Mm-hmm.
And she like looks over the
Morgan's going
tribes.
to
They're all
like
packed up.
do something. Morgan's gonna do something that she's probably done with her mom a lot. And will like cough and press the digitation like a distraction, like someone dropping a crate or like in like preparation so that people's attention is elsewhere, and then we'll give her mom like a very big hug before leaving.
It's the only
Not really,
kind
a little
that you
hug.
can get from your mom because like you're like tiny satyr and your mother is like giantess. Yep. Yeah, it's like old times. She's that's a little crack in the cold. But then immediately kind of turns to the rest of your group and just sort of nods to you and says, "Make things right. We will survive if we can, and if not, then we shall not." And she just turns on her heel, and the group has already been moving without her, basically, and they go off into the hills, through the valleys and low places between the hills that you guys followed to come here.
When she's like out of earshot, we're gonna be like, God, she's such a bad bitch.
Hope they're okay. I guess maybe we'll see them again.
Yeah. They're gonna have to figure out, where is best to settle temporarily or longer.
Well,
Usually
and
that
while you've
stuff
got the
is planned
map
out a
open,
lot,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, you don't have the map open anymore.
No,
It's
I'll
okay.
push back to it.
Uh,
Yeah, Matt.
yeah, I guess just
Stat.
for a sec. I don't want to. linger on it too long, but just to remind, since it's been a while in the story, things are pretty rough for them here because the in the icy wastes to the east, that's where the Night Slayers had risen to power and have been basically overtaken and pushed out by these worshippers of Nihil. So those barbarians, what survived of the barbarian tribes that you guys fought way back, are all worshippers of Nihil now, and that's spreading throughout a lot of the north. And to the south, of course, is the Great Road, where like there's merchants and rich people that they generally try to stay away from. But to the west, the undead hordes have been slipping in and out of the wildwoods and making things a little dangerous. So with the frostworm rampaging on top of that, there's not a lot of places to go. So they're just going off into the hills and just going to keep moving, basically.
This
and
feels
try
like
and
it's just like late stage Monopoly / capitalism, where you're just like rolling the dice, and there's like 2 squares where you're not just gonna get bankrupted.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So having finished your I assume you stake out this big
Sheet. Yeah.
canvas so that it doesn't blow away in the winds.
Yep.
And then maybe get the heck out of here.
Very much get the heck out of here.
So
Yeah.
what is your plan? You have a ranger with you, of course, so you're not about to get lost easily.
It is my skill.
But where
do we
where
want
to?
get to set up another camp farther closer to Ravenfall if we can? I don't know how fast we can get there.
How long is it
and
back to
then we do-
Ravenfall?
It was about a day's
Okay.
march, or a long day's march.
Well, Pernie's new spell.
Oh, yeah.
That
Don't you
requires
have
a
that?
bit of time, right?
Don't you have a teleportation circle?
I do, but we only have teleportation circles that we can travel to in Dwimmerdell
Yeah,
and
you need to know the
Oh, gotcha.
destination.
Bianco.
Gotcha.
Santo Bianco, was it?
Yes.
Maybe okay.
That is much further than we want to go.
Yeah. Maybe bring up the map again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A different map.
Well,
I
there's-
think. Oh, this is the one.
I don't know if you talked to us in character about it, but like having Ozzy, someone could ride Ozzy, and we could,
Well, you don't
take
have
turns or whatever.
Ollie yet.
Yeah,
Not yet.
That's an
Or I
interesting
can-
question.
I can
No,
summon
that's what I
him,
mean
but
about like the
impermanently.
time.
I think for
'cause it takes
I
time
think
to do the thing, right?
yeah, I think that we I think what you suggested is a good idea. Like we hightail it to
Yeah, I would just
outside of
force march
Ravenfall and
it
make a
to
camp.
Ravenfall.
Yeah, and then set
Oh,
up
sorry,
camp
it is-
outside and plan our next.
It is actually a couple days now that
Hmm.
I'm looking at the map again.
Because Ravenfall is all the way back down here.
Yeah.
We're
But I
currently
think-
over here. We're
You
almost
can
like
do-
closer to Mud Hollow than we are Ravenfall.
What? No.
Oh, are we
I'm
up here? All right.
Close. Hang on. I'm trying to get back there. So,
Could we travel down the river?
you guys back at camp. So at the edge of where it says the lair of the frostworm, right on the left-hand side,
Yeah.
there's like a dead tree symbol, and a hill below that, and
That's
you're
where we are?
basically like between those hills.
Mm.
So yeah, it's
And-
much closer there.
Yeah.
Much
so
further to go here.
it's with a normal pace of travel, and ignoring difficult terrain because you got a ranger with you.
Yep.
You're looking at like 2 days of like casual march to get like well down that river, and then like another day because you can use the river. But with the forced march, it was like a couple of days, I think, to get where you guys were. So it depends on how fast you want to get there. It depends on what means you want to use for travel. You have ways to travel more quickly. It's up to you. And it assumes you're going there, right?
Yeah.
Like you just pointed out, if you wanted to go to Dwimmerdell, for example, you could go there immediately. Because you know where there is a circle in Dwimmerdell. And theoretically, you need to know the symbols on that circle. So I might make like some sort of intelligence check to be like, can I get this right? Can I remember exactly and get the right circle?
Would they
And
know
not get a wrong number and end up who knows where?
how to get us? Yeah, that's the big problem. Like, it's like if we teleport to the wrong place, we leave Nightshade just in a sewer, unconscious. Which doesn't seem great.
Probably not. No.
Also, like, Filth is there, and Trey is in Ravenfall as well, so we'll leave our animal companions behind.
Presumably, you want to go back to Ravenfall.
Yeah.
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 Well, I was
Okay.
thinking if we get Ollie or Ozymandias, we'd have one more person, because obviously Ozymandias is a person.
Ollie.
To
Ollie.
yeah, to keep an
Ozymandias.
eye out.
He's
Yeah.
the guy.
Ozymandias.
Ozymandias. But yeah, like we'd have one more person to keep watch, and like if we need to rest, like we can alternate who's riding the best boy.
So your mom rides away, and then we immediately do a demonic summoning.
Yep.
So I
Sounds
thought
right.
they'd never leave. Summon demons.
I'm very happy to summon Ozymandias. I think you just want to give him tickles. That's just what this plan sounds like to me, and I'm okay with that. So I'm
How could you blame
here
him?
we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will go ahead and summon Ozymandias.
Brittany, didn't you have some kind of super fast steed before too? Like a
Mhm.
demon horse?
I can summon the demon horse as well.
That's true.
Could we
Ooh.
lash a demon horse to a sled?
Yep.
Could we sled our way back to Ravenfall
Yeah.
on a
Gosh.
demon one demon horse open sleigh?
Yeah.
Spelled SLAY.
Yes.
SLAY. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So first of all, there's the matter of Ozymandias.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is a good time to, as any, to point out to the chat that I took a lot of sorry, I threw a caramel in my mouth and it's way chewier than I thought it was going to be. So now I'm just like, no, I can't talk. Great. But I took a lot of classics when I was taking my undergraduate. And so I tend to pronounce the Greek and not the actual poem. So the English who take it from the poem say Ozymandias, which always sounds weird to me because it sounds like Ozzy Osbourne and then like someone named Mandy and then us.
It's actually
Whereas-
a truth about the world that all Mandys are they get their name from demonic lore.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why they're usually bitches. I mean, like, it's just true.
Oh, offending our audience. What the hell? Should be somebody named Mandy out
Mandy's
there.
in the audience?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with
Mandy.
being a bitch.
But yeah, the that is why I will frequently say Ozymandias instead of Ozymandias. But whatever.
Nice.
Just randomly assume that it's Greek instead of English, whatever.
It's all Greek to Lane.
Oh, excellent. What's that?
It's all Greek to Lane. Oh, yes. Well done, Peter.
Yeah.
Both
So
of you.
Copernicus has not told anyone about exactly what this this scroll represents.
Demon thing that we're doing?
But obviously, if you guys are just like, hey, Ozymandias was really useful for Fetid to ride and be faster earlier, can we do that again? Pernie is aware that we can absolutely do that again, and like in a much more incredible way. So, what are you saying?
Is that permanent?
Ozymandias. If it you know, I'm gonna just do the blood rabbit thing again. I think you're gonna be cool with that. I'm gonna summon a little blood
Yeah,
rabbit. and say,
probably. Yeah.
You run it down, it's yours, and we're
Mhm.
just gonna set a pace. And Fetid, you can start riding him, and off we go. And I'm just gonna send the blood rabbit dashing, and that'll be our little pace marker.
I think that's the plan.
So you're just going to summon him for the normal length of time?
Yeah.
Okay, so that gives you an hour.
And I'll also I think I'll.
Not particularly going to help you with like long distance travel.
The point was that we wanted to tickle him, Lane. The fast travel was an excuse.
Yeah,
The
everything
point
else
was
is
we wanted to
secondary.
tickle him.
Oh,
Yeah. How,
we give him
how far
squishies.
is Dimension Door? That's
Can we
only two
pet that
people, though.
dog?
Dimension Door is 400 feet.
How far is 500 feet? Exactly.
500
It's
feet.
not gonna help us too far.
That's
What,
not
what, do you,
gonna
do you,
help us.
what
is
units
that like
do
a
you want
football
that in?
field? Is that like a football field? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it like a
It's
school
more than a
gym?
football field. A football field is 100 yards, so that's 300 feet.
I don't.
So it's like almost, or 1 2/3 of a football field,
Okay. Okay.
not the whole stadium. Or one whole
Kind of
stadium, maybe.
understand. Okay. Ooh, thanks for the biddies. Or is that just an emote? I can't tell. No, it's
What
Oh,
happened?
that's
What
a
happened?
full on. That rolls us over.
More bits.
Sweet.
We
You might as well switch the
roll
back
over.
from the map, too.
Thank you, MLIS, and everybody who has given us bits. We get them
Yeah.
inspirations. Even if this damn thing won't update on its own, please help me find
can
one
make
that
it
will.
We'll try and get that for next time. So,
I have polymorph, but that's only an hour. But we could turn somebody into a steed,
Hell yes.
equal to or less than the target's level or challenge rating.
Who wants to be the
Um,
steed?
I mean, it kind of doesn't really matter. Like, you're either going
Yeah.
to, you can either summon Ozymandias for an hour and hook him up to a sled for the rest of you to ride on, or you can summon your spectral steed,
Demon
which is
horse.
also an hour, or you can, like, no matter which one of these, it's 1 hour of faster travel.
I was
Followed.
thinking that we would trade off
Yeah.
on those so that we could get to like
I see.
a
We
good
get 2
place.
hours ahead now.
Oh yeah, and I can recover spell slots by resting on the sleigh in between castings. So I'm just basically
But it also doesn't cost you spell slots to do this, the Demon
Demon
Horse,
Horse
because it's a
doesn't, yeah.
Oh,
ritual.
that's right. You just have to stop and do the ritual.
yeah. I'm just trying to figure out how we can keep Ozymandias for
we're-
longer.
Not all of us want.
Unfortunately,
to
you
poop
can't,
on the
because
steed.
I just wanted to say, yeah, you can't do that
Oh, I
because it's
can't
a
rest and
concentration. You can't
Right.
rest while concentrating on a spell.
Yeah, okay. Fair.
Yeah.
For probably precisely this reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, we're gonna need the breaks anyways to go to the bathroom. Not everyone wants
Yeah.
to poop on the sled, and she'll
True.
like.
It's not like a trip through
Try-
Saskatchewan where you can
She'll-
plan around the bathroom breaks.
Yeah, she'll like.
So I thought you were just
be-
going to pull the trigger on the scroll, but
Yeah. Have Ozzy. Or Ollie.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can do the ritual while being pulled by the horse or whatever, then yeah. But I'm not going to stop us
no,
for an
it's
hour
got to
to
be,
do this.
yeah.
I think
Okay.
we do that when we get close to the city, but I don't think we do that now.
Okay.
I mean, you
So
might save us
through
time
your
overall.
various means, then.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even if you
Can-
just do like with the horse alone, you can get an
Well-
hour of fast travel with a sled, followed by like a 10-minute recast of the ritual,
Well, I was
which is a
gonna-
pretty much faster pace than just walking.
I was thinking we could combo it, so that we could take the other person could take rests, and I would polymorph. I could spend 2 of my 4th level. I think I have 2. If not, I can sorcery point it to do 2 polymorphs.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say, remember, you can trade spells if you're not particularly
Yeah.
worried about using up spell slots. You have enough spell slots and sorcery points to cast polymorph like 8 or 9 times.
Woof.
Because like you've got 2 4th level spell slots, that's twice.
Yeah.
Then you've got 3 3rd level spell slots, each of which just requires, I think, one additional sorcery point.
Okay.
So with 3 sorcery points, you've got 5 casts right there.
Who's getting turned into
Then
what?
you've got 3 second levels for spell slots, which
More-
requires an additional. Let's see. Now that jumps by a couple, so it would be 3 sorcery points. But you've got 10 sorcery points.
It's true.
Yeah, so I was thinking that we could trade off whenever Pernie needs to rest or would like to rest. Someone being polymorphed a couple of times in a row and then go back to Pernie after I've exhausted. Because I don't want us to be caught out there with me not having spell points either or sorcery points either. So if we do like a trade-off, I was thinking, Ugna, if you want to be a dragon again, we'll see if that's an option for polymorph. It
Is
says
that
like
an option? I don't think so.
I don't think, but you could do like a reindeer or something.
the
Because that
new
was like
form
a
can be
greater
any
polymorph.
beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new form can be any beast whose challenge rating is equal to or less than the target or target's level.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have a challenge
And-
rating.
And dragons aren't beasts, so
Oh, okay.
not doable.
What
But you
what
can
is-
like absolutely do any, like all kinds of beasts,
Polar bear.
including like. Well, a polar bear is
yeah.
a hard thing to hook up a thing to,
That's
but
true.
something like
Yeah. Caribou.
Well, red
or,
dog,
like-
obviously.
Big
like a
deer.
big horse.
Yeah.
One of the
A
sheepy wolf, the sheepy wolf res dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
A dire moose.
A dire moose.
Challenge rating of a dire moose is 5.
A dire moose is just a terrible idea, and I love it.
Yep. A moose, only bigger and meaner.
No,
Great.
let's not do that.
A dire moose is in fact a large beast,
Thanks.
and it's of a lower challenge rating than your level, so it's
Nice.
100%.
Dire
available.
moose. Dire moose.
And
Dire moose.
they have advantage on Constitution saves against exhaustion,
Nice.
Perfect.
so you could like full on get some forced marching
Hell yes.
out of Ugna.
I already have a pretty good constitution, but I'd be even better as a dire
Well,
moose.
I was going to say you wouldn't because you have
I
the
get the dire
Constitution of a dire moose.
Yeah,
Although the dire moose has a Constitution of 20.
that's better than I got.
Goddamn.
So-
Anybody want to see a
With-
fancy dragon, Tromlin?
Ooh,
Nice.
Be fancy.
very
Nice.
You got them.
That's cool
you got
as
them
fuck.
scales.
Ooh.
Nice.
That's cool as fuck.
Excellent.
The multi ears look so cool.
Okay.
I figure he's
So-
got those like dragon fins, but then also his normal ears.
Yeah.
You rig up a sled out of some of the remaining stuff that was left behind by the camp. Some of the art supplies that you had, some big empty crates and things like that. You've got all of the crafting and mending powers to quickly throw a sled together. Especially knowing that like the weight on your sled is basically not going to include Ugna because she's going to be
Nope.
the steed.
Yep.
So it's just Tromlin, Fetid, who's tiny, Morgan, your stuff, and no real weight for Copernicus because he can just float and hang on because he's got a flying, his flying.
We're just gonna tie him onto it like
shoes.
a balloon, a little bit,
Yep.
you know.
You
Yeah.
can just be. You can
Also-
kite him.
Morgan's
can
gonna
be
get
kited.
excited about packing our bags now that we can, like, have our dedicated bags within the bag of holding as needed.
A moose
Honestly, that
14
size of the
feet
group,
long.
you don't even. I don't even
is
know if you freaking
terrifying.
need. You don't need the sled at all. You
You
guys are such a
tried.
small and like without Ugna, your whole group will easily fit on the back of a dire moose.
Can I be in one of the antlers?
I mean, that's the main. That's the
That's
main place.
part of a moose.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
It's
I'm gonna
like
put
chair.
an
It's like
image
chair
for
shaped.
you in chat, Alina.
Oh god. That's so
Like
much
moose
moose.
antlers are. Moose antlers are very like chair shaped, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
That's from somebody's conversion, but at least the drawing is from an older.
Cool. Screen's gonna flicker briefly, y'all.
And you can show everyone what Ugna
Dire
looks like
moose.
after this transformation. So concentration up to an hour, and that gives you all the stats of a dire moose.
Amazing.
Exciting.
Right. Okay. So with that, then you're it easily one day, and you're basically camped near Ravenfall. Obviously, you can't do the whole day because you only get an hour at a time, but you have enough spell slots and sorcery points
That's
to
too much
cast
moose.
theoretically 8 or 9 times. So let's assume that you're just casting it like 5 or 6 times. 6 hours of moose running with like the ability to like not get exhausted because of like
Being a
make me a
moose.
couple of constitution saves.
As excited as we are about this, yeah, like this would be so exhausting to have to concentrate on this spell and just be
Mhm.
like,
I haven't rolled
like in the
below a
cold and the
12.
wind.
I haven't rolled below a 12, and I rolled a nat 20 at one point, so
How many of you rolled?
4.
Yeah, so like
It was 12,
you
14, 16,
maintain
and 20, which is all
you
very even.
maintain well, and you've got like plus
I've got a
5 minimum
plus, yeah.
just from the stats.
So
So
when you
yeah,
first turn Ugna into a dire moose with a little pink tuft on top, I don't know if I can still talk, but I go like,
no,
oh
you
hell
definitely can't.
yeah, and you just hear a giant bellow that
You
basically
you
says
do
like,
that, yeah.
fuck yeah,
You say hell yeah,
but it's just a
non-verbally.
bellow, and then I just fucking give her, I just go.
So that night, then you can set camp practically within sight of Ravenfall. Certainly, you can see the spire through the
Nice.
hills. Um, and
But I think we'll pass without trace. I know we're a dire moose,
Yeah.
but I think we'll still
Yeah.
pass without trace.
Better safe
well,
than sorry.
Yeah.
easily for Feta to do.
Morgan's
Uh,
excitedly unpacking now. Like setting up the little table, setting up the cot, putting her like blankets and pillows on
Oh,
there.
you got a fancy little camp.
Got a little camp cot. Oh my god.
I
So
imagine
do you
Ugna
want
does
to
that
do
thing where you've
this?
been running all day where she eats like anything in sight and then just flops over and goes to sleep.
The calorie burn is just
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
so
so
preposterous.
just like loud snoring, exhausted Ugna. Copernicus, do you want to do this now?
Yeah, I think I want to do this now.
Summon some demons while we're sleeping.
So, um, so yeah, remember the way to do this, because you can concentrate on 2 spells at once. You have the option of doing the summoning and then maintaining it while you do the ritual. But the disadvantage or the danger is that once you've summoned your demon, that if he tries to break free, you've got to make those constant saving throws, or he's got to make the constant saving throws. So the first thing to do is to do summoning, but then you're going to want to do some kind of bargaining to try and reduce the issues of attempting to break free of the spell.
I'm gonna try and figure out, maybe when we have Ollie on the ride, I'm gonna try and figure out like what his favorite food is, like what's the stuff that he's into. Like
Oh yeah, you were going to bring him on the ride anyway. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you summoned
he's
him.
riding on the dire moose. He's contributing nothing, and we love him, and he doesn't have to contribute anything.
Yeah.
We would never
Very
expect
good
that.
boy.
He can. He. There's no way he's going to stay on the dire moose while the dire moose is running. He is going to run alongside.
Run alongside it.
Oh yeah.
He is not.
Awesome.
He's not going to go. Oh, we're all sitting here. He's going to go. Oh, we're
Yay.
running.
It's
We're
running
running now.
time.
That's what we're
Yay.
doing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Running time's the best
We're gonna
time.
be like, I'll toss him like a goose leg from the antler. Like,
Nice.
I'm
So
gonna,
you are. You can communicate with him, of course,
Okay.
because you have. You know, he doesn't have. He has like high animal intelligence. He doesn't speak or anything like that, but you have the ability to give him verbal commands because that's how the spell works. So clearly he can understand you. So what are you? What's going on? What you saying? What's up?
I think maybe what I'll do is like through blood crafting, or I don't know if I have any spells that can basically like I don't know, prestidigitation can do a little bit of this, but like I'll show him different animals and figure out which ones he likes the most. I'm gonna get some time with him on the moose where I figure out where the scritch spot is.
Nice.
So that when it comes time to make the bargain, I'm gonna I think make I think I'm either not gonna make a magic circle or I'm gonna make a magic circle, but it's like a little kennel, but he can leave the doors open, and I'm just gonna explain like, here's what I'm thinking, Ollie. I'm thinking we got a good thing going here, bud. And if you're into it, I'd like you to hang out. We would like to be your forever home. Is I guess what I'm offering here. We're gonna trial it for a year, and then if you're into that, I'm gonna trial it for a year right now, and we'll see if it goes. You can, and it means that you won't have to come and go. You can just stay with us. My promise is one of us scritches you in the good spot every day. That's our part of the pact. But I think we figured out your favorite foods, so we're gonna try and make sure that you get those as often as we can. And you're part of the pack now, bud. What do you say?
Make me a
Morgan's gonna do
persuasion
everything.
check.
Morgan's doing everything that she can to help. She'll with the prestidigitation, and a help action, however, arcana, whatever you want. Here's
Well, you could give him guidance.
guidance, yeah, and guidance as well, obviously.
So go ahead and make me a persuasion check. It has to be Copernicus.
Okay.
As the summoner. Make me a persuasion check and add the guidance bonus.
And am I getting advantage from help or no?
I don't think so because this is like again, it's the summoner thing.
Okay.
I love the idea that Avernus is like living on the streets, and we're giving him a little home
Yeah.
here in the material plane.
All right.
Nice.
And I have an inspiration if I need it, right? One left.
Yep.
You have several.
You got several.
We got
You
refilled.
We refilled because I burned 2.
Yeah, and then
you
we got
burned
2 back.
Got both back. Nice. Thank you,
Oh, you
chat.
got 2 back. I wasn't
Yeah.
even looking.
Yeah,
Chat's
yeah.
been generous.
That's been on
Thank you,
fire.
I saw 1 come through. I didn't see 2.
Nat fucking 20, baby!
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Holy
We love
crap.
to see it.
Nice. Okay.
Couldn't have been a better roll to do it on.
All right. Yeah, that's like the most important roll you've ever made.
And I
Okay.
can I request like 2 minutes at the end of the session to I wrote a story about it's called Forever Home, and it's about adopting a demonic house.
Aww.
And I think
Love it.
it's a 2-page short story. I would like to read it at the end of this session if I may.
Awesome.
Excellent. Ollie's game. So what that means is, so basically here's the thing. The way the spell works, as you know, you make the circle that they can't cross to protect yourself from them, but that doesn't stop them from potentially making their saving throw and disappearing after a few rounds, right? Which is the real risk of doing this. This is the real reason that this spell is not doable by PCs. Even if you have a party with 2 warlocks, or you're playing a game where there are talents and you can concentrate on 2 spells at once, which is not normally the case, they still get to roll a saving throw every round for an hour, which basically means it never works. But because you made a deal, he will accept and not attempt to break free of your control. So you just have to maintain concentration, not get hurt or do anything else to screw it up while you go through the ritual. So you very carefully, because you know you've got this like ancient scroll with this 1 9th level spell on it, and you got 1 shot at this. So very carefully you take the scroll out of the case and unroll it, and do the ritual now that you've resummoned Ollie, because you need him for the full hour to be there. And you go through and you do this ritual. So the planar binding, which incidentally might be an interesting spell for your next spell, because when you do go up a level in spell casting, you will have access to a 5th level spell, which planar binding is. Just a thought. Now the spell has a component of like a jewel worth at least 1,000 GP. So I will simply say you've got some gems from the dragon's treasure hoard. You put together 1,000 gold pieces worth, and you consume that with this spell. And just double checking, at the completion of the casting, the target makes a charisma saving throw. I guess he could just deliberately fail it, but if I roll it and I roll a 2,
Pretty.
it kind of doesn't matter.
Looks like
That's
about
so
the
pretty.
cost. You can't really see the liquid core that much in there, but
Yeah.
Fancy.
glitter. I imagine
Okay.
the horde just had a bunch of shiny rocks.
Nice.
If you can see the glitters.
So it takes an
Yeah.
hour to perform the ritual, which is the length of time you have your summoning. And at the end of that ritual, you speak the final dodecagrammaton, 12-syllable magical finals phrase, and hold your breath, see if it worked, as the scroll disintegrates from your hand, and Ollie is still there.
Yay.
Aw,
Yay, the best boy!
Good boy
Mhm.
acquired.
yay. Good
And
dog.
I will go over in the downtime what that means for Fetid, because I am going to allow Fetid to gain some animal companion ranger
Cool.
stuff
Nice.
around this potential mount,
Nice.
since that seems the most logical thing there. All right.
Into it.
So so now the party has an additional member, and he'll be with you
Such a
for
good boy.
the next year and a day. Unless he is specifically, I think he can still be banished. Just double checking.
Not on my watch. I'll always have a counter spell ready for you, Ollie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's nothing here about preventing normal dissolution. So if he is ever destroyed, he would go back to his own plane, or if he were banished. So just things to keep in mind. So yeah, you're on the outskirts. So you do that night, and in the morning, you've all regained your spell slots and had your long rest. And you, with a short march, you're coming down out of the hills. I mean, pretty much you're just following the river at this point, down towards the city of Ravenfall.
Are we still moosing it
What's
up?
the plan?
Are we coming towards the city at full moose tilt?
If you want to be a moose, I will make you a moose.
I mean,
Amazing.
I'll spend the
one
slots.
polymorph,
One polymorph.
one spell slot for an hour will get you.
Would you like to be a moose?
I would love to
Pretty
be a
good.
Do you
moose.
want to? All right, I'll make you a moose.
Let's moose all the way to the city.
Morgan will produce
But now
chocolate moose.
now
from
you're a
breakfast that
hellhound
she
and a
saved.
moose.
Yeah.
So there's a
And she'll
hellhound
offer
with
it to you, but then we'll turn you into a moose as well.
So there's a hellhound with a kobold on its back, and a dire moose with a pair of satyrs on its back, and a floating
Old man.
floating old man trailing on a string like
Normal. Completely normal. Nothing weird here.
Yeah.
Nothing to
Yep.
see.
So I was going
Pretty
to say
average.
that we should infiltrate the city quietly.
Well, this is just your travel mode. I
yeah,
was
yeah,
going to ask: are you going to charge right up to the city walls? Are you going to?
So I think we should sneak in and try to check in on Lady Nightshade first,
Yeah.
just see if
It's not a
anything
bad
has
idea.
changed with the breaking of the ritual, and if not, then I think we probably want to hunt down the rest of those stones that are part of the local ritual here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might
I'm-
even want to bring her with us
Hmm.
as we break the stones. I don't know if they would fall back into the cult's clutches, though.
Let's give her a once over when we find
Yeah,
her.
let's.
And see if we can get more info on where
So
she's
whoever
at.
is one of the satyrs is driving Ugna, so you can choose where
Yeah.
I stop charging.
Well, I thought we would she's in with the underground folk, right?
Yeah.
Underground
need
folk is
a-
also that's how she refers to the Quaggles, by the way. She never
Good.
says the Q word.
Yep.
She says the underground folk. So I guess we'd sneak in that way, do a group
We need a
stealth.
tunnel under the city.
Well, certainly Fetid knows the
Yeah,
secret
I know
ways.
my ways.
Yeah, and in particular here, because you've already like been through them all with the Quaggles when
Mhm.
you guys were setting traps before.
Mhm.
So with the stealth of Pass Without Trace, I'll get some stealth rolls from everybody, just determining how easily spotted you are as you approach the city. Because of course there are guard towers. Kind of the whole point.
26.
Is that with or without the +10?
That's with the +10. I rolled a 3.
Okay.
19 for Ugna.
With the +3 or +10?
Oh no, so that's 29.
Okay.
So 14 plus my 5 stealth.
Yeah. Plus the 10 from Pass
Plus
Without
the 10.
Trace.
15 plus 7. That is
Okay.
with the +10.
Nice.
That is with the +10, so that's 22.
22, still breaks 20. Doing all right.
And Fetid?
All right, I should roll. Nat 20.
Nice.
Oh
You
my
are
god.
invisible.
Yep.
I'm going to let you extend that nat 20 to Ollie.
Ollie.
Make it easier. He doesn't have to
Wow,
roll.
that's 2 nat 20s for me tonight.
Nice.
Pretty good, pretty good.
So you make your way up
Okay,
to the
it's a
base
new
of the wall without following
dawn.
like the little culverts. What's wrong?
I just remembered it's a new dawn.
Okay. So you follow like the rivulets down alongside the river bank and stay out of sight from the walls. And Fetid knows of some like crevices that you can crawl through and creep through. And you make your way up to the city walls. The first entrances that you check, Fetid, are blocked
Um,
and no longer extant.
I was gonna say, as we get to the edge of the city, even though we're trying to sneak it, Morgan will have texted her BFF and said like, I so need a bath. I need a bath so bad. Please prepare for our like girls' night in treatment. Please.
Cool. You don't get a response yet,
Ooh.
which is a little unusual.
Yeah.
Fetid, eventually,
She'll answer mid orgy, like.
Fetid, you find an entrance that is still what you remember.
Okay.
It's partially blocked, and at first you're like, "Uh-oh, this one too," and then you realize that it's partially blocked from one of your own traps that was set off back when the barbarians were being snuck into the city.
Mhm.
So you're able to. You're like, "Oh, okay. Well, so if we just push on this rock, and then it'll all push away. It's just a little trap."
Morgan's gonna blow up her friend Stone.
Amazing.
She's gonna be like, "Hello, please.
Are you
I
dead?
need to know that my
Eventually.
mud treatment will be made available to me."
Eventually, you get a
Please.
response that just says, "New stone, who dis?" No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You up?
That doesn't happen.
Finally.
I'd be
You don't
so
get a-
devastated. I would have taken a black token.
Oh.
I would have taken a black token. Hey guys.
Well, Ollie came in to see what's going on with his character.
Aw.
He says, "Is it my
He got
turn yet?"
up.
Hey, Ollie.
He's like,
Pookie's
"Oh, you're still
not-
awake. Why?"
Why?
Pookie's
That's
not
my bedtime.
answering her stone, you guys.
What?
Okay.
Like, we're both chronically on the stone.
Oh my god. That's bad. Either way.
Hmm.
She okay?
Like she would answer if she could. Like, yeah.
Would go check on her first? He's like, we gotta go into the sewers, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just got these boots clean.
When-
I don't know if we wanna like just immediately go into the sewers.
I would assume that
that's
she
what
would
the
have
boots
sent
are
me
for, right?
gossip.
You're in the sewers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I would.
there's no other way into the city unless
That's
you're gonna
true.
go march up to the gates.
That's true.
I would be regularly exchanging gossip, like mostly about people and like shit talking them or talking about like TikTok ideas. So like, when was the last message I would have received from her when we were like goofing around? I would have told her. I would have told her I lost my butt emote for my
When
scroll
you're-
set. Or it was my boob emote. My boob emote for the scroll set. I lost my stamp.
She
I would
didn't
told her.
respond to that one. The last one you have from her is from the night before you guys went to the frost worm's lair.
Hmm.
It's been a while. I didn't
It's been
realize.
a few days. Yep. So
We've been
Well,
so
with the
busy.
dragon and everything, you've been so busy.
Yeah.
so as you make your way into the
Thank you.
tunnels, Fetid, you start, leading the party through the byways.
Boy.
Here we go.
It's the baby!
Oh, he's so good.
He's like, why are you
Yay.
holding me?
Ollie
Such a
can play
snoot.
Ozymandias, and
He's got
Pico
such
can
a big
play
head.
Trey.
Look how big his head is.
He's so long.
He's a horse.
A long boy.
Sweet horse
sweet.
boy.
So you're going to hear a
I was
noise in the tunnel ahead, and
good.
that scraping of boots, and you quickly sort of hide yourselves or otherwise try and get out of sight. But then you'll hear a familiar high-pitched voice of Trit the Goblin, Trit
Resnar.
Resnoir, Trit Resnoir,
It's my favorite
the
genre.
the
Resnoir.
Goth Goblin.
Yep.
Res Noir?
Yes.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes out looking somewhat worse for wear. He's wearing like a little kind of jury-rigged chain armor. And he's got a little
chain wallet, and I got really excited for a second.
Amazing.
he is wearing those really baggy raver pants.
Yeah.
Always.
A billion pockets.
And his hair, and he has the dyed black hair like right down
Yep.
over his eye. You're not sure if he has two eyes. You've only ever seen one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those animations where when he turns his head to the other side, it just the part moves and it's the other eye.
Yep.
So there's only ever one eye at a time, but you're not sure if it's just moving around
Shake?
like the hair.
No bite.
Morgan will text her BFF number 2. That's how they're listed in her
Jake?
stone. She'll text
Jake?
Pernie and be like,
Hey, no bite.
I could dimension door to within a pretty big range to a secret place, possibly. I don't know. That's only
Well-
2 people at a time.
Meanwhile, Trit is immediately like eyes goes wide when he sees Fetid. And then he starts to like, oh, thank God, kind of like come forward, but then stops short when he sees the Hellhound. And there's just like a rapid facial expression changing. And what do you say to him?
I say, hey, don't worry, he's friendly. You can come say hi. I'll wave him over.
We thought you must all have been killed. You
Yeah, what's been going on?
the we've been at war down here. The weasels and other quaggles that had been siding with the I can't remember if I did like a full-on goblin voice for him before or not. It's been too damn long since I did his voice. But
No, I think you just had regular style
just
voice
regular.
for him.
I think I just did a regular style voice for him.
Yeah.
Because he's like he is like a deep voice for a goblin because he's like
Mhm.
so angsty and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he's
He smokes all those clove cigarettes.
yeah. So he sounds like a regular human.
Sounds like a dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
Fetid,
clove
can you
cigarettes will get you.
check in
Who was that?
on Filth? Is Filth
Yeah,
still okay?
probably. But what's this
Uh,
about? War?
All of the weasels that had been siding or been working for the cult. They came back. They call themselves the Warriors of Toad.
Well,
And
that guy. Ugh.
they've been fighting us for control of the sewerways. They work for the city guard. They've been arming them and feeding them, and they've captured much of the sewerways. Um, some of our best warriors have been killed or struck down. Uh, Butch has been cursed, so he can't be healed. He's stable, but we haven't been able to revive him. The same for Brenda. He kind of looks down. You remember his girlfriend, Brenda Yuri?
Mhm.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're gonna fix
the-
this.
Morgan's gonna start crying.
We're gonna
Aw.
kill all of these motherfuckers one by one if we have to.
Yep.
But yeah,
Gonna
I
rip
do
them
think.
apart with lightning, and then she'll like
Yeah.
pull that little guy into a hug.
Aw.
Mhm,
Worry.
Aw. He's very greasy.
mhm.
Oh,
We will fix this.
She's
We
crying
need to.
like for 2 reasons now. She's crying for 2 reasons now.
He has Snape hair.
Yeah.
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 He's just a little gothblin.
Gothblin.
Oh my god.
Yep. He'll say the merchants have been fleeing the city. The soldiers have cracked down on the streets. It's just dangerous to go out in the streets above, but it's just as bad for us down here with this war.
We
All
have to
right.
stop
Many of
this.
the Quaggles have fled.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where they're going to go.
Okay. Do you have somewhere safe that you can shelter? Or safe-ish, anyway.
We have a few of the caverns, but and he kind of looks worriedly at you as he goes. But we've lost the whole area of the city under the citadel.
Okay. Who did I leave Filth with again? He's guarding.
You
Nightshade.
left Phil guarding Nightshade
Yeah. Okay.
in a chamber that was deep under the citadel.
That
Okay.
seems
Well,
bad.
yeah, that's not great.
That
Okay.
would be the part of the city that the other Quaggles have already taken. The part of
Yeah.
the sewers.
All right.
We're gonna have
Well,
to fight our way in.
yeah, it's time to start doing some murders.
Now you know if you get within 100 feet of Filth, you can communicate with him telepathically.
Okay.
And I could dimension door and at least dimension door out with one person.
Yeah, so if we can get you to her,
Close.
pop
Yeah.
out. You know. All right. Well,
I could
yeah,
upcast for the
Morgan-
two of them, possibly.
Morgan was with you when you
When we
stashed.
put her down there.
So theoretically, especially if like Fetid is kind of helping to be like, okay, let's make sure you remember exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
With like the layout of the sewers. Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
a bird.
that's 500 feet.
Yep.
So that doesn't even have, that can be
400 feet,
any-
or no, 500 feet. 500. But yeah.
500 any
I mean,
direction. So
Yeah. So as long as you are very, very like certain about where the chamber you'd be dimension dooring into is, so that there's no risk of coming out in
ending
a
up in a
wall,
wall. Yeah.
and taking a bunch of force damage. You have been to that place, and Fetid has his like extreme familiarity with the tunnel ways, so
yeah.
that would be a plausible idea.
Okay.
So in the meanwhile, not Brenda, because Brenda is indisposed. Trit is leading you to one of the Quaggle gathering chambers. It's not the great hall that the snake had gone through. That has been taken over by these other Quaggles. He tells you that the Toad's weasel forces basically invaded through there. They came down from the snake's tunnel into the main hall rather than coming through the outer entrances, and they came in force and forced us all to flee. Um, uh,
Sorry.
the tunnels. Are you being tickled
They're
by a
gonna
bird?
burn on me. Yep.
Can he crawl into your shirt?
Yep. There he goes.
And he leads you to their one of their strongholds. So they've been managing to hold on to a good chunk of the north side of the city, which is why they've blocked off most of the entrances from the outside, so that the enemy can't come back around and sneak around behind them. And it turns out that the entrance you took is pretty much the only one that's still there, which is why it's guarded. But he leads you to to this hall, and when you get there, you find Trey sleeping next to a fire.
Oh.
And he says, the owlbear has been useful for keeping them from bringing in too many weasel soldiers.
Ugna actually has like a tear in her eye. She goes, "That's my boy."
There's a bunch of like weasel fur owl pellets
Amazing.
around. You can just imagine Trey
Great
swallowing a
gamer.
weaselkin whole.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. What else do you want to know? He can tell you more about what's been going on in the city.
Is the Lord of the Trash Heap okay?
Sorry,
Or am
when
I thinking?
you're thinking of
She's in Mud
Madam
Hollow.
Trash Heap in Mud
Yeah,
Hollow.
yeah, yeah. That's Mud Hollow.
Um,
Okay, yeah.
There's kind of not really a head Quaggle here. There's sort of like Trit
Yeah.
and Brenda were
Okay,
kind
okay.
of the main two, but it's
Mhm.
more devolved.
Morgan's gonna ask about the people, the Quaggles that were more than likely a part of her cult or employees of their clubs.
Yeah, I don't know that you would know too many
Yeah,
to
Oh,
like to
sleepy boy.
name.
Are you sleepy?
yeah.
Okay.
I'll ask about like the club locations. Like, I think one of them was like a fried chicken place. That we like snuck through the back kitchen of to get to one of the sex dungeons. So I'll ask about like that place.
Yeah, he doesn't know. Like, I mean, nothing's changed. Like in terms of there's some businesses that have shut down in the city. He says that the Thieves Guild has gained much power and are running the streets. But he hasn't heard anything specific about that particular business. He does know about if it's got like a sex dungeon under it, like he just knows. He doesn't know what it's for necessarily, but he just knows. Oh yeah, that one like creepy room that we can sneak into because we know of this set of pipes that nobody pays attention to. But that's like just a way through. He doesn't really have any information about that or about the people that would have led the place. But he definitely like, yeah,
All is not well in Ravenfall.
Yep. Anything else you want to know about? I might remind you of some of your friends and allies that were in the city. Maybe this is a good time to just kind of recap the state of things. It's been quite a few games since you were in the arena and supposed to do
fighting.
a display match. And
Morgan
instead, the
pushing
giant
for-
snake came up through the ground. At that point is when the Baron, Gregory Langarian, who seemed to be running things in the absence of Nightshade, declared you all traitors to be arrested, and you fled down into the tunnel.
Wasn't there something weird about him?
Yes,
Pernie saw
Copernicus
something weird?
noticed. Yes, Copernicus noticed his cousin Phoenix Langarian uh, possibly manipulating him, possibly even puppeting him. There is a magic effect, definitely affecting him. I'll remind you also that at the giant ball, um, Phoenix Langarian had a ring with a vial attached to
That
it
was it, yeah.
that
And it
Tromla
was
had noticed
empty
emptying,
at some point.
and you had suspected that she slipped something to the Baron. Um, Also, I'll remind you that Baron Langarian is the coattail possessor who the Boltrees were cozying up to um, in town here. But in any case, it sounds you were fairly convinced already that the Raven cult was getting their hooks into the Baron as part of the whole ploy where they were taking out Nightshade, which would pretty much, you know, give them a much easier to control normal human Baron instead of, ancient Fey Witch
And
to deal with.
Toady is part of the Raven cult, correct?
Toady was a member of the Quaggle Society who had been quite respected, but then went and joined the Raven cult.
He was
And
pretty
he had,
powerful for just a new recruit, too.
yes, he had monk levels. He was martial artsing up the place with his big old frog legs. He
If we
kicked
can
Fetid
find
multiple times.
if we can find Frog, perhaps we can remind him of the peaceful household he once knew, and he'll give up his warmongering ways.
I told him that he's not a frog anymore, because,
He was a
he's been
toad.
demoted.
There's like
Morgan's
some
just
other
like-
Quaggle here who's insulted because they're like, "How dare you, frog?"
It's not a frog.
Morgan's just like very worried about her friend and doesn't know anyone
Yeah.
who would.
Yep.
Yeah, no one here would know her.
You had
And
other allies in the
there's-
city as well. I
Yeah.
will remind you all that
Oh.
you came here with a whole bunch of Loxodons.
Mhm.
Oh, shit,
Sir
that's right.
Godfrey was set up
Right.
in the market. Captain Ulf and his
Is
group,
there-
which included Kangar, your old wrestling buddy.
Yep.
Is there like a help button where you can contact your manufacturer on our sending stone?
My
mean,
phone isn't
you-
working.
They're like,
That would be Sir
yeah,
Godfrey, and
contact
if he's
your-
still in town, you could go to
No,
Sir
I
Godfrey.
mean like on your thing where you can be like, here's the email or here's the
Text
stone number
99.
for text
Mhm,
999 to contact your
Service
Local
provider.
your dealer, your service provider. Yeah.
I'll also remind you that several of Copernicus's family members were in town.
Right.
I think that the Captain Sunshine was planning to sail like right away, basically.
Yeah, so he might have already left.
But I do
Um,
have the cousin
you have
who
another-
runs the fighting school. Is
You
that the one
do.
that's here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm somewhat concerned about Basilisk. Even though she
Yep.
broke my
and,
heart.
and Kangar.
Yeah.
And Kangar. Last
Yeah.
you saw them was just in the.
I can't find
The
Toady,
fighting
but here's
pits.
some good tricks.
Can
Her little
we?
goblin.
I know that Bush is
Nice.
hurt and unable to be healed, but if he's alive, can we? He was, I believe, leading
Nice.
our operation to try and locate where the remaining statues that were part of the binding on Countess Nightshade were. Can we check in with him or anyone else who was part of that team to see
Sorry.
if
Checking in with
uh,
who? Sorry, I missed the beginning of that.
with Butch, who I know you mentioned is like hurt and can't be healed, but I believe is alive, and to figure out if he or any of the other team members who were trying to scout for those statues can give us leads on where they are.
So I think Butch was at the end of it. Butch was assigned to guard Nightshade, so he was still there.
Oh, okay.
But probably he helped arrange for Quaggle groups to go scouting out and try and figure that out. So Trit would have that information. Yeah, Trit would be like, because I believe the whole basis of it was that you knew that these statues had been brought into the city,
Yeah.
Right.
and set up.
We didn't know the locations of the remaining 4.
Yeah, and so it unsurprisingly, now that you know what you know from that previous fight with the statues, it is 4 other watchtowers, but they are equidistantly scattered so that they make a perfect pentacle around the
Horse.
the citadel. So you're pretty unsurprised, Copernicus, with your Arcana to be like, "Yep, I can see how everything was set," because it was very clearly, specifically set up to fuck with Nightshade.
Yeah. Okay. We have the locations now, which is good.
Well, I want
You
to.
can also be brought to the fallen Butch.
Yeah, we should probably go see what he's about, see if there's
Yeah.
anything we can do to help.
Yeah, I want to check in on Nightshade, but I also want to check in on Pookie, my BFF.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Can we finish our underground checks first, and then we'll go surf aside together? Travel as
Let's
a
do
group, and
that.
we'll
Yeah.
have your
Yeah,
back-
I
That's
think-
a good
your
order
back
to
for
do
that.
it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
do one more thing here, and then we'll call it because we're just about out of time. So they can take you to see Butch and Brenda and a handful of other Quaggles who had been, they tell you, struck with poison darts during their fights. And the poison has been slowing magical healing so that they can't be healed. So they've all been stabilized because you can just do that with a medicine check, but none of them have been healing, so they're just unconscious. And there's maybe 7 or 8 Quaggles here, one of whom you recognize as Brenda, the Goblin, and one of whom you know to be Butch, the Dwarf Barbarian.
So I guess we
Butch
get
Irk. Butch Irk with 2 T's.
medicine checks on these guys or Arcana.
Yeah. See
Yeah,
what
I
it
mean,
is.
straight up medicine
a-
check will
yeah.
tell you that they are indeed poisoned.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that much of a medicine person.
But since Tromlin is with you, I didn't really write him out. He can certainly do. I think
Some
it's just
heals.
lesser restoration for poison, right?
Think so?
There is no longer a remove poison specific spell. I'm pretty sure it's just lesser restoration. What are the things you can remove with lesser restoration?
There's protection.
Yes,
from
the poisoned condition. Yeah, but removing a poisoned condition once somebody has it is lesser restoration.
I think protection from poison also does. But if that covers it, then all the better.
Yeah. Lesser restoration removes a disease or a condition, and the condition has to be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
Okay.
So yes, Tromlin has at least 2 of those just from his prayer beads, so he can do that specifically on Butch and Brenda to start with. At which point it is possible to heal them. The other option is it might be a bigger deal. It might be a curse, but he also has remove curse, and I believe he still has 2 slots at that level. Yeah, he does. So either way, Tromlin can bring them around
Nice.
with his clerical healing.
Morgan's just like so sad that we're like we finally got to the city and now we're just like in the sewers. People are hurt. She
Yeah.
just wants a bath.
We're just gonna have to
And
go
some fucking
murder
Hang
all
out with
of
her
those
friend.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
where's
Brenda
the
comes
fucking
around.
diner when you need it, huh?
Yeah, where's
Give
that
us
diner?
some greasy fries. Give us some greasy fries.
Well, you know how to get the diner.
That's true.
You know how that works. But
I thought we only did out of character rather.
Eh. Butch. So Brenda comes around and Trit immediately starts fussing with her, uh, and checking her out and making sure she's okay. Butch will kind of shake his head and come out of it and be like, "Oh God, well, that wasn't very cool. Hey, how are all of you guys? Oh, I was supposed to be watching the lady ship.
Yeah, what happened?
There was some kind of attack. They overwhelmed us, pushed us back in the sewers. Was really some tense fighting. I took down as many of those weasels as I could, and I mean that literally. They were also weasels, but they were also weasels. And but some eventually they must overcome me. I was in the zone, with the rage, but eventually it all just went black, uh, and I'm not there anymore. So I don't know what happened to the lady. Anybody seen her?
We should probably go, right?
Yeah. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, this seems pretty bad.
Yeah.
And at that, Fetid, you will get a ping in your head from Little Filth, who is anxiously looking for you.
It's his DJ name, Lil Filth.
Little Filth. Little Filthy Filth.
All right. Well, that means he's within range at least. I'll ping him back and let him know we're around.
So very quickly you find each other. He's he's absolutely frantic. He's been searching for you for days, ever since, and he'll share mentally with you the attack. You see Toad, and you see in a full-on Raven cult robe, but still wearing like a very nice vest and cravat, and like watch
Friggin'
fob
guy.
under it. You see him like joyously kicking people, going ho ho, and the gang of ratkin and weasels, that weaselkin and other rodentkin that are assaulting, taking down. You see them swarming over Butch as he is in barbarian rage, and you see them get pushed back. And once that has happened, you see Filth like still hiding himself up in up in a crevice as the hidden door, the secret door that was there, opens, and Eliphas Darkmoor
Fucking
walks
guy.
in, his hand still glowing with whatever magic he used to like rip through the sigils. You see a group of kind of skeevy-looking humans with him, um, festooned with thieves' tools as they disarm all the traps. Uh, and he smiles thinly and snaps his fingers at his minions and says, "Bring her." And they pick up the unconscious body of Nightshade and take her out of this place.
It's very bad.
And Filth follows them for a while through the sewers. They go up into some great hall, and you see the door slam shut, the secret entrance into the sewerways from this hall. And after that, Filth was like just searching for you, trying to report as you had instructed him, but he could not find you. And now he wants his head scritched and reassurances because he is a good boy.
You did great. I didn't get this other dog to replace you.
No.
Wouldn't even occur to him. He's like,
No.
but that's clearly like a dog thing. That's a hellhound. I am very clearly like dragon. Much
That's
better.
better. Much better.
Dragon good.
Also, this
dog
guy's
bad.
got like a dragon
Morgan-
thing going on now, and that's cool. Good job. Good upgrade.
Yeah.
Morgan
Yep.
will produce a less spongy makeup sponge and like look to Fetid like, is this an appropriate snack for you? Like, is this makeup sponge like a good treat? Is that what you
I
guys
mean, yeah,
like?
he's like me. He'll eat pretty much anything you give him, so he'll be
I'll
happy
offer,
with that.
yeah, I'll
Mhm.
offer him a very old makeup sponge.
Yeah. If you've got like a used
Slimy
Q-tip, he
tongue.
loves
Nom
those.
nom nom.
Oh yeah. There's like, yeah, she has like a little satchel that is for like old Q-tips
Mm-hmm.
He'll
and
nab
like
it with his
gross things. Yeah.
Mhm.
slimy little tongue.
Yep.
And that is where we'll leave it for tonight.
Q-tips.
Good boy.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Good boy.
What am I rolling, Lena?
Roll me 1d20.
I have rolled a 19.
Oh.
Ooh,
I made a good roll.
that is J Payne.
Jay Payne, you gonna
Jay
get you
Payne.
some artworks.
Some not pain.
artworks.
Some good things.
Oh, well, if it's of Pernie, he might be, you know, in some harnesses and with some whips.
It could be painful.
Oh, and I
think
forgot.
that would be you or Tremlin on account of your hater masochists.
Oh, God.
Oh.
The worst.
Good
the
night,
worst.
everybody.
Thank
Good night,
Dad.
everyone. Love it.
Anybody got any shout outs?
Yep.
Oh, actually, I will
Like-
briefly shout out my book and read that little story from it.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
This book came out 2 years ago. It's called The House of Untold Stories. Is 50 little 2-page sized short stories written by someone with ADHD for people with ADHD. Because all the stories, they're just that long. You can read them so fast. And there's lots of pretty pictures in between them. So this is like the second last story, and it's called Forever Home. And it just fits nicely with demons.
And
Um,
Ollie. And you guys
Ollie.
just got another set of cheers there.
Oh,
Thanks,
yay.
MLIS.
Thank
thank
you.
ya.
Thank ya.
So yeah, between every story, there's like a little door that you open to open the story, and so it's all like these little pocket dimensions inside this house full of stories. Okay, Forever Home. I still remember the first time I adopted a home. When I entered the old house at 136 Pruitt Lane, it bristled with anger, letting me know I was not welcome, as it had done for the past 5 would-be tenants. The walls began to shake, the lights flickering and buzzing, flakes of ancient paint falling from the ceiling like dead petals from a flower. Well, there, I said, stroking the doorframe. There's no need for that. The shaking subsided, but I could feel distrust simmering behind the walls. Look, I said. I'll do the speaking lines as Pernie. Look, I said. I won't stay long, just a few minutes reading my book. I could feel it watching me, confused, as I sat down in a dusty armchair. This is how you have to do it with the really traumatized houses. Get them used to human contact a bit at a time. As expected, the cheeky thing acted out before I left. The soot of the fireplace coalesced into a grasping hand. None of that now, I said in a voice that was firm but loving. I know you're hurt and scared, but you can relax. I'm here to help. I made a point of finishing my chapter before I stood. I'll come back the same time tomorrow. The next visit went better. It still rattled the chandeliers when I showed up, but half-heartedly. It let me read 2 chapters before it tried to spook me with the sound of fingernails scratching behind the walls. I just stroked the carpet gently until it calmed down. Its distrust was turning into curiosity. It had seen so many people leave, but it had never seen one come back. After a week of visits, it let me stay the night. By the next month, a string of overnights had become a week. It let me mop its old oak floorboards, vacuum the carpets, and scrub the flaking paint off to apply a new coat. It still shook, but it seemed to be from enjoyment, the kicking leg of an itch scratched. I've heard it said that some houses are evil, but I disagree. They just miss their old owners, or they feel abandoned, and so they lash out. Their misbehavior drives people away, and over time they forget how it feels to be loved. When you foster homes like I do, your job is to help them remember. It's not so hard. So please, come in. Oh, but take off your boots. This one's still a little nervous around people in shoes. Not quite sure why, but I've got some guesses. If you adopt, there are a few quirks you'll have to get used to, but you'll learn to love them. Yes, the faucets still sometimes scream when you turn them on, and you'll have to mop up the occasional puddle of blood that appears overnight, but it's made so much progress. I think it's finally ready to be a forever home again.
Aw.
Beautiful. I love it.
So good.
That's a very
That's
very
so good.
Copernicus story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gorgeous.
Okay.
All right.
So before anyone else shouts anything else out, I just want to mention to everyone that we're probably going to play on a Tuesday
Yes.
next time.
Changing dates.
So we are currently planning the next game for April 30th. So just to let folks know, and we will post and announce that in the Discord. If you're not already on the Trash Heroes Discord, please feel free to join. I'm going to go ahead and throw up a community Discord invite
Yeah,
there.
get a link going.
Oops.
Little buddy. You're too much.
Anybody else got anything to shout out before we get out of here?
Just my in memoriam video for my scooter, which I posted
Yeah.
a TikTok link.
Do it. I am also going to be playing another game this Sunday. We've got Empyrean Rising. We're going to get up to some serious shenanigans this time, so please join us. It's going to be Sunday at noon PST, 3 EST. I'm going to drop the link over here. It's going to be, man, it's going to be so crazy. You have no idea.
Just so people know, you can use your points to cause intrusions into the game and make people be put into more awkward positions where they can admit their crushes.
Or not admit their crushes.
Yay!
Yeah, or not, cheaters.
Wasn't me.
Cowards. I'm not a coward at all.
Kale has no crushes
It's
on
very
anyone
fun.
currently. They have much bigger things to deal with.
Yeah, just turning into other stuff. Whatever.
Whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, so come check us out Sunday. And I've got a raid
as
for
always-
us too once we're done. Because Foos is once again streaming, and it's Shadowrun night.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
It's
And
actually
as
Shadowrun
always,
streaming.
make sure you read everybody's comics,
Yeah, links up there.
special content, and Popeye, and something positive. Shouting out for
Yeah.
Randy, who isn't here.
Hell yeah. All right.
We will catch you all next time.
See y'all later.